We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
The volume. Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What up, bro?
Hey man, listen. Thanksgiving, you still eating on Thanksgiving food?
Still eating Thanksgiving. Can't wait to eat it tomorrow.
Still eating it. Okay, explain that to me though, to the peoples.
So we have our Thanksgiving, together with her parents or whatever like that. Her her brother, and the kids. And my kids don't really eat leftovers like that. So at Friday, I will then make supplements to whatever is missing for me. With my health stuff, I have to make certain things certain way. So like I remade some yams. I had mac and cheese left over, but I bought another one. Then I made green beans, and then my family was like pestering me about a ham, bro. They like for 2 years they was like, "Why you ain't make the ham?" I was like, "It's just ham." They was like, "Nah, it's not your ham." So went ahead and made another ham. So now I'm back on the block, bro. I'm just, hey, I got 2 more days, bro.
So your Thanksgiving, okay, so while you had Thanksgiving dinner, your Thanksgiving, your personal Thanksgiving dinner started the day after. So you still got, you still got technically 7 days worth. How far do you go into eating yours?
I go
Do you go
7 days from Thanksgiving, so I won't go past
7
Thursday.
days?
Yeah,
So
it's just
Thursday.
7 days.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
probably won't eat it on Thursday. No, more than likely tomorrow will be the last day. But
Yeah.
but listen, it's still smacking though. Like it's still I'm talking about. I had plans of things to do today because I was off. I had my annual physical. Guys, go get checked. I went and got my annual physical, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to eat lunch, and then I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, bro. I ate that food was out, gone. Gone. I said, I don't know how I'm gonna make it
Oh,
tomorrow because I'm gonna be at work tomorrow eating it. And yeah.
man. So you know what's funny though, bro? So what's odd is that this Thanksgiving was the first time I had ever made sweet potato pie,
How'd it go?
right? Listen, man. Listen, man. I might go into business making sweet potato pies though, man. It was going down like that. And let me tell you, so what was cool about it is that again, I had never made it. And my father-in-law makes the bomb sweet potato pie. I think that it's probably the best I had ever had. The best I think I had. Like when he's making it, how he making it is the best. The problem is that sometimes he'll change up for some reason. He might put like he might want to try with a little lemon in his. He might want to put less nutmeg in it, and it never fails. So sometimes it don't taste like it be like okay, like it's good, but it ain't quite, you know what I'm saying, what you remember it being when it was really good. And so I was just like, it's because he doesn't measure, right? He goes and it's when you know it, that's cool. But he's the kind of person where he will purposely try to do something a little different, or he'll know exactly what he did differently, and it won't taste the same though, right? So listen, I'm glad that this was the year because I had a taste for sweet potato pie. And because I usually don't make it myself, I typically rely on his pie to actually be the one. If I don't eat pie all year long, it's his. So I say I'm gonna make one because he said he didn't want to make one. He wasn't sure if he was gonna make. I said, I'll go ahead and give it a shot though, right? Um, and then he says, well, if you're making your pie, I'm gonna go ahead and make a pie. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So he wanted to make it a contest. So I might never want to back down from a challenge. But again, this is what you do. I'm just stepping up to the plate. So I make my pie. It's measured. By the way, I can give you the recipe if you want to know how to get on with your boy. Since everything is measured, right? So I measure and everything like that. And before I even throw my eggs in there, right? I taste it though, man, and my feeling tastes exactly how I like pie to taste. Now, if somebody else you might like yours a certain way. I made my pie for people who like pie to taste the way I like pie to taste. So I knew mine was good before I put the egg in. Sure enough, he pulls on up with this pie, and this pie is almost more brown than orange, right? And I'm thinking like, did he like bake his for a long time, or this stuff looking real pumpkin pie-ish almost though? So sure enough, I look at his pie and I think something different about that pie though. That ain't the pie that you usually make, and I know it ain't. Sure enough, he decides that this time he was going to use Japanese sweet potatoes because those are naturally sweeter. Okay, I like my sweet potato pie sweet, so I'm thinking cool. But he says they're naturally sweeter, so you don't have to use as much sugar. So his pie wasn't as sweet though, right? And I knew that just like I said, he wanted to hit him with the remix. All things like that's something that you do before you test that out early, 2 weeks, a month. Don't pull that out on me on Thanksgiving though, bro. So sure enough, though, man, he had it and it didn't taste the same. I looked at it and knew it wasn't the same. I knew it wasn't going to taste the same, and it didn't. And sure enough, though, man, mine tasted exactly it. And so then he tried to give his explanation. Oh, it's healthy. It's this, that, and the other. And I was just looking at shaking my head like, nah, bro. Nah, not when mine is over here smacking them, bro. I said, and I made two of them too, though, bro. He made two pies. I made two pies. And what's funny about his two pies, though, right? One of his pies is still up in my refrigerator. It's only one cut that's been cut out of his pie just for somebody to be like, this is all Thanksgiving. Was it good? And I was just like, yeah, man, whole pie, basically whole pie still up in my refrigerator though, bro. But I'm glad though, man, that my pie came out exactly how I wanted it to taste though, bro.
Now, did he
Smack.
taste your pie?
He tasted my pie. He knew it. He knew it though, bro. And listen, don't get me wrong. He's getting a little older, and because of his aging health, he can't eat stuff like he used to, right? And so I understand why he wanted to go with the healthier option. It's cool. But my thing is that in that case, I'm thinking like you make you one of those, but make your regular for the peoples though, bro. And so I was like, well, listen, at least my peoples know that my pie hit and that anytime, because I got the recipe, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling everything I measured all of mine though. I measured every single step of mine. So it's like, nah, anytime anybody now want to make the recipe, they got it though, man. I got it out there though, bro. It was smacking though, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Very proud of that one though, man. Long story. Let's get that music on though, man.
Let's get it.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you
of all time.
smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
And listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. Click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys is doing a thing. Ace Kennedy. And so Thanksgiving is over. Any Black Friday deals that stood out to you that you was like, yo, I got a lick on?
I kind of have been shopping already. There's a couple things I picked up, like I wanted to get another Amazon Echo
Hmm.
because we sometimes we play some music when we sleep at night, and the speaker is on my side of the bed. So it's Sarah who needs it because she claims I do snore. So I got the speaker for her side, and I wanted to have that surround sound. So, what I'm saying, she can hear more of it, whatever the case may be. So I got one of those. But for the most part, though, like I said, I'm pretty close on. There's only I just got to get the rest of my stuff for Sarah, and then that's it. It's a wrap.
And let me ask you this though, bro. Since you brought up, she said you be snoring, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How hard do you be going, bro?
Well, again, I got a CPAP now, so I mean, military. I found out I was dying in my sleep when I was in the military. They said we was out there practicing for war, nigga. I mean, we we was practicing for war. And they said, like, listen, when they said Mop 4, that's when you put on all of the chemical warfare stuff, the gas mask and everything, right? So you be in the suit and you gotta just lay down for a long period of time. So we mapped it out, bro. Like we knew we was gonna be in Mop 4 for a minute. So instantly, as soon as they said Mop 4, we would get excited because we put our mask on, we be out. So my lieutenant was like, yo, he said, bro, you scared me because you stopped breathing when you was asleep. So that's how I knew I had the sleep apnea. So ended up getting the CPAP or whatever like that. And so I knew I snored, but yeah. But apparently I be going in though.
That I think, like I know for sure, I be going hard. If I'm dog tired though, bro. Oh man, I could call the hogs in. If I'm dead ass tired though, man, I might peel some paint off the wall. And I think that I don't think that, and maybe for what I said, because I've snored so hard that I woke myself up before several times, right? And
Yeah.
I've snored so hard, bro, that I've been snoring, woke myself up, and I'll look around to see if anybody heard me snoring, no, bro. But I can say that I think that I don't snore as much or as loud as I used to snore. I used to go hard in the paint though, bro.
Yeah.
Hard, like maybe I need a CPAP machine, bro.
Yeah. I got mine, bro, and I sleep with it every night. I know people that get them and they don't use it. And I'm just like, nah, bro. I be using mine. Breaking news, bro. The CFP done came out.
Yeah.
And here are the 12 that made it. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. 3, Georgia. 4, Texas Tech. Number 5, Oregon. 6, Ole Miss. 7, Texas A&M. 8, Oklahoma. 9, Alabama. 10, Notre Dame. 11, BYU. 12, Miami. 13, Texas.
Tulane at Oregon is crazy because I think the Tulane's coach is leaving, and I wonder if he's gonna coach that game.
Wait, what you looking at?
I'm looking at the I just saw the update despite coaching changes. It says oh yeah. It says that the I'm looking at I think it's ESPN. It says that Ole Miss wasn't penalized because Lane Kiffin, who we'll get into, is leaving to go to LSU. And it's saying, yeah. They talk about who will be ranked. So it says Ohio State and Indiana remains the top 2 seeds, followed by Georgia at number 3, Texas Tech at 4, Oregon at 5, right? Um, Texas A&M fell 4 spots after suffering their first loss behind that whipping. Um, and then they got BYU, Miami, but I'm looking at the matchups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um, that's what I'm mainly trying to see. Actually, you know what? Let me see something here, bro. Because
Listen,
that popped
I
up on my stuff
respect
also.
I respect the list. I'm not even going like jump up and scream because my boys didn't make it. I will say I'm proud that the fact that like, dang, we was just like right outside the window, bro.
Hmm.
Because
Okay,
there's
so get this. Okay, so let's talk about it. We can dive into this. So there's a little bit of that that's involved in this though, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that you reached out to me and said, "Hey, what do you think about Texas being included into the CFP?"
Yeah.
Right? My thought is this. I thought that I thought that while we lost to Ohio State and we lost to Georgia, which that's still heartbreaking. Florida is hard to explain. And with that being said, I I I try to when you ask me that, I wanted to remove my bias because I used to always see before we joined the Big 12, there would always be some not Big 12, the SEC. I would see some SEC team with 2 or 3 losses and everything like that. And I'd be like, you know what though, man, like you are you giving them that just because they're in the SEC and supposedly the SEC is the tougher competition, it's the creme de la creme. And I used to almost think like, no, there was some Big 12 teams when we were there who I thought that was deserving and everything like that. And the nod always came at the caveat that they're tough for competition. So now that Texas is in that same position that or we could have been in that same position, it's like I wanted to remove my bias as a Texas fan and say we weren't as deserving as maybe some other teams. But I'm like you said, I'm not mad at the teams that made it. I just
This
I think that some of the teams that made it, if we suited up against them, I think that we would win.
okay.
I would feel confident.
Now here is my counter argument to that. You said all of that to say the SEC normally gets the nod, whoop de whoop de whoop. Well, guess what? We didn't complain. We stopped complaining about it and we joined the SEC. So now we should be a part of that conversation. See what this is going to do right here. And Sark said it. This is going to make people protect their schedules. So the Texas versus Ohio States aren't going to happen anymore. We're not going to have them games anymore until we get to the playoffs because
Yeah.
they're penalized because okay, take the Ohio State game off of there, right? And we only have the 2 losses. Are we having this conversation?
I think so. It's
Why so?
Florida, bro. You can't. I can't.
Hold on. You're saying that Florida, though. Texas is the first team since 2019 to beat 3 ranked teams in the same year. They're the only team to do that. So what I'm saying is this, right? You got other 10-2 teams that made the playoffs. Everybody else, there's only 2 undefeated teams. Ohio State and Indiana. Everybody else is 11-1, and then there's 3 teams I think that are 10-2. So again, if Texas beat the number 3 team in the college in the rankings with Texas A&M, they beat them when they were undefeated. They pushed them out of the SEC championship, and they bumped them down now to number 7. Plus, they beat Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's number 8. So I'm saying, if you take the Ohio State game off of there, we are not having this conversation because we beat Oklahoma and we beat Texas A&M.
I get that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it does look some kind of way that 2 of the teams that are playing that are in the CFP we beat. And I think that for the most part, I would be comfortable in saying I felt very comfortable in those games. Like I went into the A&M game thinking we beat A&M. I don't keep up with A&M. I don't keep up with A&M since they hightailed it out of the Big 12 like that. But I also think that A&M's to me, they're like Penn State. They're like one of those teams where I think every few years They put together a big roster and they never quite get over the hump. So that's another story for another day. But I do get the point that, yeah, you got two teams that are in there that we beat. I get it, right? But A&M, you're talking about just A&M specifically. Yeah, they lost to us. But if I'm not mistaken, I think A&M they lost to us while we were ranked, right? I mean, like I said, I can't get over if I'm just again, I would love nothing more than to see someone put Texas in there. But if I'm removing my own personal bias, I can't get over Florida. If I'm an outsider,
No,
now
no,
you
I understand
can't
that. You got
convince me of
Florida,
anything about that.
and you got 2 overtime wins in Kentucky and Mississippi State.
Mississippi. And
Understood.
listen, we look like we went down to the wire with two teams that are almost perennial cellar dwellers,
Right.
right?
But we won. If we would have lost, be no discussion. But we won.
True.
We found a way to win when we played bad. That's what good teams are supposed to do. But what I'm saying is this though, because you lost to Georgia, who is a powerhouse, and you lost to Ohio State. But Ohio State is not a conference game. First game of the season. Number 1 team in the conference. We are the only team that was within 1 touchdown of the game. Everybody else getting blowed out by Ohio State. Yeah. All I'm saying is yes, I'm a Texas fan, but bias or not, the facts is the facts. And if
it was not Texas and this was Mississippi State, I don't know that we would be having that's my point. Like when I said I'm trying to remove my bias, I wouldn't be having this argument for Mississippi State.
But here's the thing. What I'm saying is this. Sark started making his appearances on college shows. That's why the discussion was happening about Texas. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about us having an internal conversation because we're Texas fans. I'm saying the national conversation had been, should Texas be in? So that's where I'm saying. So I'm saying if you remove the Ohio State loss, yes, you're going to still bring up Florida. You're going to, because that's a part of the losses. But what I'm saying is if you so what I'm saying is that's what Sark was holding on to is like, listen, you're not, what you're basically telling teams now is that it doesn't matter. We just care about the wins. Because what you're saying is it doesn't matter that I go to try to beat a team. I'm not going to go play the high school Kent State. I'm not going to play Louisiana Tech. I'm not going to do none of those. I'm going to go and try to play Ohio State in the first game of the season. And you lost. So you got 3 losses now. So that's what I'm saying. All that's going to do is just change how coaches make their schedules. They're going to, fluff it up and then.
I feel you. But 3 losses is a lot of losses when you're comparing it to teams that have lost 2 and 1 games.
Right.
Regardless of who you beat, regardless of listen, it wouldn't matter to me. I see what you're saying, and I'm echoing it. It doesn't matter to me. Listen, it doesn't matter to me personally if Texas or anybody, if Texas beat Indiana, Ohio State, and Georgia, and then they lost to Florida and they lost to Mississippi State, just hypothetically, they lost to Florida and Mississippi State decisively, right? And you struggle with Kentucky, like it doesn't matter to me that if you get 3 losses, it doesn't matter to me who you beat. And if there are other teams that have fewer losses that also have their own case, right, to be made. It's just as a Texas fan, I'm inclined to want to say that my team has 3 wins against top 10 teams.
You and I argue.
It doesn't matter to me if you lost 3, if you beat 3, all the top 3 teams, it doesn't matter to me.
See, and that's what I'm saying. We're arguing 2 different points because you're saying it doesn't matter to you. I'm saying all losses are not the same. That's what I'm saying. And that's what Sark is.
They're not.
And that's what Sark is saying. So all he is saying is that, okay, because you guys are making this a precedent that you're saying that all losses are the same, like it doesn't matter who you lost to, it just matters the number of losses, then that's going to change the way people make their schedules. That's all I'm saying.
It's fine. But listen, Texas with 2 losses, we're having a different conversation then. right? But that is my point. Texas losing to Georgia and Ohio State, that's one thing. But the minute that you add Florida in there,
All
it
right.
throws
And
the
I asked you,
argument out of the
right.
way.
But I asked you another question though. What I asked you was take that same logic that you just said, remove the Ohio State, and it's just
No, you
losses to
can't
oh,
remove
no,
Ohio State.
no, what we are because I'm asking you a question. We're not saying
Okay.
what's happened has happened. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you, you remove Ohio State and we have 2 losses to just Florida and Georgia. Where are you at? That's what I'm asking you.
So that's okay. So to answer that question, to me, it would say if by saying removing the loss, meaning that we beat Ohio State. If we beat Ohio State 14-7, then you put Texas in. But if you tell me that the win replace Ohio State with Louisiana Monroe, I might
That's
answer differently. So yeah,
That's
so
what I'm
you
saying.
can't.
No. I'm saying
Mhm.
what I'm saying is not that we beat Ohio State. That's what I want you to focus on. Is I'm talking about the losses. Like you can put whoever you want to put in Ohio State spot. That's not Ohio State. I'm saying we played a regular a high school team like everybody else does in the beginning of the season. I'm just saying because you put so highly on the loss of Florida. That's what I'm focused on. So we lost to Georgia, we lost to Florida. Where would you want where do you still think we 13?
I gotta see. I gotta see what everybody else,
I'm
what the
I
other
mean
teams,
I
these
can tell
teams
you.
out here. So no. Listen, no. What I'm saying is that I then gotta see not just the record of the other teams, but who they played and who
So
they
that's what
beat.
I'm
Because
saying. So
listen,
listen, you just
no.
this is
It's
why
like
I'm asking you that question because you just sit up there and said you this is exactly why I asked you that question because you just got finished saying that it didn't matter if Texas would have beat Ohio State, Indiana, and Georgia, but if they still had 3 losses that they wouldn't be
yes,
in it. Okay,
yes.
so you're saying that it's the number. So now based upon what you said, now we're 10
Yeah.
and 2 like 3 other teams in like 3 other teams in it. So where will we at now? All we doing is
So in that case, so in that case, you got a better yes. So to me, you do have a better case. You do. It does make sense to me. Like this is my thing. That does in that case, you having 2 losses versus you having 3 losses matter to me. Because my thing is that you can't sit there and tell like, listen, it doesn't matter to me because at that point, it's like, yeah. So let's just say, yeah, our 3 losses are what they are now. But if you tell me that we had 2 losses, right? And that extra win that wasn't a loss previously wasn't against a high quality team, even if it was mid, if it was a top, what this, if that win that we had was against a top 25 team, yes, I think that we were in. But if you tell me that's against Louisiana Tech, then no, I don't think it's the same, right?
so
If there were other things,
why are the losses the same? I mean, why are the losses the same to you then? Because again, who we lost to outside like it, we already know everybody's going to bring up Florida. We get that. We got that loss. I'm not even
who
telling
did,
you to remove that.
so
What I'm
but
saying
my
is
thing is
all
this,
losses to me aren't the same. That's the only
they
thing
they,
I'm saying.
they and I agree with you. That's why to me, it's like my thing is this. When I'm looking at it, when I'm looking at a CFP contender, I'm the
Mhm.
first thing I'm looking to see who did you lose to, right? Who did you win? Who did you beat? Now, when you lost, how did you look in those losses? And when you won, how did you look in those wins? Right? That matters to me. So you're right. By that criteria, those 4 things, who did you beat? And how did you look when you beat them? Who did you lose to? And how did you look when you lose them? That means that all of your losses could very well be different. So all those losses aren't the same. But my thing is that if there's another team who has just as much of a compelling case, like I remember one season, Alabama got in with 2 losses when one team had 1 loss, right? And it was because Alabama had more wins, quality wins against other teams with them having the 2 losses.
Okay.
That
And
makes
so
sense.
everything you just said, everything you just said is helping my case because Texas, hold on, Texas lost to
Mhm.
Ohio State by 1 touchdown. The only team They even got close to Ohio State. Secondly, Texas is the only team since 2019 to beat 3 ranked teams. So all you sit up here just talking about
No,
all
no,
the
no, no, no. You got. I'm trying to remove my bias because, dog,
it's,
I'm
bro,
not
you
going to
keep
forget
bringing up
about.
the
Listen,
bias. We're talking about
no, no, no.
facts. We're
I get
talking
that, but
about
I'm saying
facts.
though. Listen, but I can't listen. But based off of those criteria, again, who did you beat and who did you lose to?
3 ranked
How did
teams.
you look?
We lost.
No,
Okay,
okay,
so again,
that's
to answer
fine.
your
That's
question,
fine. Okay, okay,
we lost to
right,
Georgia, Ohio State. Those are 2 major ranked teams, right? And we lost to Florida.
right.
So Florida's the only loss that you got. Ugh. But what I'm saying is you can't erase the facts of the wins. The facts of the wins
Wins.
are
That's what I think about. How did you play? Listen, how did you play when you won? Mississippi State, Kentucky, bro. Even we played against like UTEP, and we didn't particularly look great against them. Like in Arches,
in the
the
beginning
follow
of the season. And so then we
yeah,
progressed. So let me ask you,
right.
so again,
It
Charles,
happened,
again,
though, right?
let just answer this one question and I'll let you get everything out. If I said that Texas is the only team since 2019 to beat 3 ranked teams, so how come all the other teams that have these 10-2 records or these 11-1 records, they don't have ranked, they don't have, they're not, they didn't beat ranked
Sure,
teams. So then
sure.
so how, that's what I'm saying. You were the one explaining to me why losses and wins matter. So if that's the case, it's not being biased about being a Texas fan, about bringing in facts. So the only thing
No,
that
it's not. It's not.
hold
It's
on.
you
So
can't. You can't.
the only thing that changed your opinion is the fact that we have 3 losses instead of 2.
Yes, and that makes a difference because then it's like because again, it's who this it's who. So when you tell me, well, who was the win? If you tell me that the win is against, let's say if you say the win is against LSU, for example, right? They weren't like they weren't top 5 for the SEC or whatever. Though, if this against South Carolina, like you're telling me that it's an SEC team, then yes, that extra win looks better to me though, man. But at the same time, though, bro, it's like I can't like. Don't get me wrong. You beat 3 top 10. You beat 3 top 10 teams when they were ranked. That's cool. But you also barely beat 3 other teams that were cellar dwellers. So it
But
just
you
to me
beat them.
looks like right. But how did you look when you beat them? Right. That matters to me though. When I'm picking the team, when I'm picking the CFP, how did you look when you beat these teams? If you have to go into overtime with Louisiana Monroe, yeah, Louisiana Lafayette, like what are we talking about? So I'm saying like that's not the same thing. Like let's say if you said that we had 2 wins and our 2 wins we went into overtime with goddamn Texas State, right? Then that's not cute to me. That doesn't mean that there are 2 wins.
But those weren't our wins. Just like how you said we ain't
But I'm saying
okay. So
if we switch 3-2, if you said we didn't win 3, if you said we won 2 games, if we lost 2 games instead of 3, but the game that we won instead of lost was against Texas State, and we went into overtime, like that's not the same thing, though, bro.
right,
It's
but
not,
we went to overtime with just 2
yeah,
teams, Kentucky and Mississippi State.
no, you're not. My point is that when we say the wins, all wins aren't equal, right? And if you're telling me that if in the scenario you presented that we lost 3 games this year, but what if we remove Ohio State? Now we got 2. Well, you got to tell me what did that win that we picked up? What did that look like, right? If
Right.
you're telling
So
me
so
that we
then so even still, though, right? Even still, Ohio State isn't the team that we beat of the 3 ranked teams, right? So what I'm saying is this.
sure,
So okay, so so again, if you remove the Ohio State and we only lost 2, that still means we beat 3 ranked teams in the top 10, the only school to do it since 2019.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that.
I'm
Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean it doesn't. See, this is my thing. It's not that I don't think that Texas is capable. It's just I'm saying that yeah, we beat 3 teams, but yeah, we also struggled against 3 teams that aren't ranked, that weren't ranked. It's like so, and then we lost in those 3 games that we lost.
But it's
That
the
was against
progression
us.
of the year, though, bruh. It's the progression.
No, nah, man,
Because
nah,
we
bro.
started improving. Yes. What do you mean? No. So it ain't like we struggle with those teams at the end of the year. Every the games we got better. What are you talking about?
We struggled against the Kentucky and Mississippi. That was like 3 weeks ago.
Charles, that was in the middle of the year, bro. What are you talking
Nah,
about?
bro.
What you mean, nah? What do you
I'm
mean,
just saying,
nah?
like,
Look,
I'm trying.
we can pull it up. We ain't even got to argue about it. We can just pull it up. We can just pull it up.
I'm trying to remove my bias, bro,
It's
and
not
just
about
make
being,
the case
bro.
for
You
a
keep
team.
saying bias, and we talking facts. And nothing I'm saying. I'm talking facts. That's all I'm talking about.
If you remove Texas from the scenario, the name,
Okay,
I would
here go
say
the record. Here go the
how about
season. Here go the season right here. So Ohio State lost, right? San Jose, or I guess that's I don't know, SJSU, the 38-7. UTEP, 27-10.
Come on, man.
SHSU, 55-0. Then we got a bye week. Then we lose to Florida. We go to Oklahoma, beat them. Overtime win for Kentucky. Overtime win for Mississippi State. Right after that, here comes that ranked team. We played Vanderbilt, beat them, right? Then we get another bye. We lose to Georgia. Then we come back and smack Arkansas and smack Texas A&M. So those were in the middle of the season, like I said.
It's not that. Listen, man. I'm just saying, if I'm an outsider looking in, I'm not that impressed by it, bro. If you're
not impressed by a team that got better.
No, if you're Georgia, you're just like, that's a regular year. This is my point. It's like, that's my thing about it, though, bro. If you're LSU, you're thinking like that's just another year in the SEC. And this is, again, if you remove Texas off of the conversation, I'm just saying that to some other team in the SEC, to Tennessee might just be like, that's just a regular year, bro.
Right, but Tennessee didn't beat 3 ranked teams in a year. That's what I'm saying. None of the other 12 teams that made the CFP has beat 3 ranked teams this year. That's what I'm saying. That is a fact. That's not a Texas bias. That's a fact.
Listen, man. I understand what you're saying, and that's cool. I'm just saying that, to me, this is my thing. I get that. The beating the 3 ranked teams, that means something.
That's what I'm saying.
But you also throw in a wet blanket when you lose 3 games, bro. It just does. It's not.
No, it's not a wet blanket. Charles, I use your criteria. That's why I allowed you to go first. You said that all losses are not the same. That's what you said. So if that's the case, we lost to the top team in the country in the first week of our season, and we lost by 1 touchdown. Everybody else got dominated by them. So you said it's how you look when you play these teams, and you did all of that. And so
all of them.
Okay,
not just the wins, and not just them. So
in the middle of the season, in the middle of the season, we went to 2 overtimes and then started blasting teams and lost 1. We lost to Georgia.
Okay, we didn't. If we're being honest, though, bro, the score, when you look, and this is what I'm saying, what a voter would say.
Mm-hmm.
We beat Vanderbilt 31-34, bro. That wasn't exactly smacking. Even if you didn't watch the game, if you watch it, if you're looking at this, you're thinking like, all right, y'all won 31-34. So y'all won by a field goal.
Yeah, and we smacked them. Because if you watch the game, not the box score, then you know we smacked them. Because here we go. I was at that game.
Oh no, bro. I'm just.
I mean, listen. This was just a conversation that the CFP should have had. And like I said, it's
if
not
the CFP had the conversation.
It's not a Texas bias. This is facts, and this is what this. Like I said, this was national news because our coach went to go fight for our spot, and I ain't mad at it.
Feel you, man. But I'm just saying that from somebody who's been in SEC country for a long time, bro, ain't nobody that impressed with the Vanderbilt but us, though, man. They
don't have to be impressed. They was ranked.
I'm only talking, and listen. I'm only just trying to speak from a non-Texas fan. It's like, bro, it's Vanderbilt. They typically are trash.
They typically are, but they was ranked when we beat them. So they typically were. And guess what? And they saying this is typical SEC fashion, but y'all let Texas A&M go undefeated until we beat them. So I don't want to hear that. And then another ranked team, Oklahoma, we just got here 2 years ago, and Oklahoma was ranked. We beat them. So again, I ain't trying to hear none of that. You could say that
what you're
this.
saying, twin, but that just it.
Speaking of SEC, we had some more SEC controversy.
Yeah,
Lane
yeah.
Kiffin decided he's gonna take his talents to the Bayou. What say you on this LSU move, bro? Was it the right move?
Hey, listen, man. I never thought that Lane Kiffin was gonna stay at Ole Miss forever. It just doesn't to me seem like the kind of scene for Ole Miss. I thought that he always looked at Ole Miss as like a stepping stone to get him back. I thought even when he went to Tennessee, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've always thought the goal for him was to get to LSU or to get to Bama. I think that to me, I look at it like this though, bro. I think to be quite honest, and maybe I'm just biased. To me, there are, in my opinion, there are maybe 5 jobs in college football that are to me the jobs that are the creme de la creme. There's Alabama, there's Georgia, there's Texas, there is hold on, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, uh,
Michigan ain't one of them.
Ohio State, maybe Michigan. But listen, even the Michigan, I'm gonna take. I would even be willing to take Michigan off. I might say USC.
What about
When they're solid.
what about Notre Dame?
See, Notre Dame shoots himself in the foot because it has a very big fan base, but they're not in a conference though, right? And I think that them kind of keeping their self, you know what I'm saying, separated from everybody hurts them in the end though, bro, because they don't have any conference affiliation, they don't have a conference game, they don't have none of that. But I don't I listen, but either way, I've always thought that Lane Kiffin's goal LSU is one of them jobs for me. It has the brand, it has the boosters, it has all this stuff behind it. And I've always thought that was like a goal for him was to get to one of those 5 or 6 jobs. And while I thought it never mattered how much he would build Ole Miss up, right? If he built Ole Miss up and they won a national championship, I still think that he would have left their events. If they won a national championship this year and LSU came knocking, I think he still would have answered though, bro. So when they came to him and they asked him early on about, you know what I'm saying, a couple of weeks ago about, you know, the likelihood of him coming back, and he didn't want to answer nothing. It's like, bro, if you gonna stay, you would have said you gonna stay because you wasn't interested. And I get that you might say, hey, no, I got my agent doing his due diligence. That's what I pay him for. That's cool. But I never thought he was going to stay there long term. I thought that if anything, he was lucky that they were the SEC team that gave him a chance, given how crazy it looked when he was over at Tennessee, though, bro.
Yeah, I knew it's the reason why I respected Sark, right? Because the Tennessee Titans job came up. There was some other, coaching speculations, and Sark was like, "Listen, bro, I normally don't respond to these rumors, but let me just say this: it's lies. I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying here with Texas. The fact that I had to even say this to my players, we trying out here win some games, and y'all boys out here bringing this bi out here. So I respected Sark for that. Whereas Lane Kiffin, you knew, like you said, you knew he was leaving when he didn't want to say, "Nah, I'm staying." He could have easily he could have clipped that early.
Yeah. Listen, and let me tell you how big these jobs are, right? Those 5 jobs. Those 5 jobs are so big, fan base wise, that you could be within those 5 and leave one to go to the one that's even one tier up. So, like when I saw uh, uh, Nick Saban leave LSU, and he could have got, listen, I don't care who was in there for LSU at the time, though, right? They would have brought him back. And when he left, I think he left LSU to go to the Dolphins and then came to Alabama. But I think that I think that the LSU would have paid whatever it was. So the fact that he went from LSU and then still went ahead and went to Bama within the conference.
Mhm.
Listen, it tells you everything, though. Right? While I didn't think that, why I did think that Lane Kiffin was going to stay, but here's the thing about it, though. So this is where you and I we always are in support of players, right? Because this is one where you went and recruited all these kids, and they came there under the guise that you were going to be there, and you slide out. And so I at least respect that they open you up to say, well, if you committed to the school, you can go ahead and slide, though, right? But I think the part that is interesting to me is that had he had gotten fired, right, instead of him leaving on his own, he has that built-in payout where most of the time it would have been somewhere. A lot of these guys, what's your boy out in
Penn State.
Kentucky who Stoop?
Yeah.
No, Mark Stoops' brother. He had a big payout of like 30-some million dollars that was due out for him. Uh, 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 Penn State,
Yeah.
big lump of some money. There was the
So
other guy,
Kelly, Brian. I mean, the boy from
Brian Kelly.
yeah.
Brian Kelly said, nah, I want every single penny of my $50 million. And I don't know how that works, because I guess if you get because they'll try to negotiate down to say, hey, we could pay you out this lump sum right now. And I respected how how Stoops basically said, no, I respect the school and the program. So just pay me out over a period, and you don't have to give me the lump sum of what that is, and then that way you can still go and get you a big name guy. I respect that. But at the same time, though, it's like if you leave on your own, I can kind of see how a school might feel some kind of way. But at the same time, it's like they would do it to him. You know what I'm saying? If he was failing, they would fire him at the drop of a hat, and then they'll figure that part out on another go around. So I don't know. The one thing I do think that's a very respectable thing is that he has Charlie Weiss Jr. as his offensive coordinator. He went with him when he was over at Florida Atlantic, though, right? Before he went on over to Ole Miss. And so and Charlie Weiss Jr. is going with him to LSU. And while Lane Kiffin isn't coaching, he is at least allowing Charlie Weiss Jr. to go ahead and coach the game, which I think is pretty dope, though, man.
Yeah,
He
but
should have
that
just
was the
not
big
did that.
question. That was the big question in national media too, was uh because Lane Kiffin did want to coach them through the playoffs, and they was like, nah, bruh,
Mhm.
nah. What you think about that?
I mean, put it like this. If they said, if they thought, if they had mutual respect for each other, and they said that, no, this is a promotion. So let's just say how you get something like a perfect example of that, right, is um James Madison's coach, right? So, which is kind of crazy because the previous James Madison coach is the guy that's over at Indiana. They wreck and shop. When he was over at James Madison, they was wreck and shop. They replaced him with this new guy from James Madison. He came through. They won national championship in their division. Now that guy is going to UCLA, right? That's a huge promotion. And at some point, when you got those smaller schools, you just might feel like, hey, I ain't got the money, you know what I'm saying, to pay you like that. This is a promotion. I can understand why you can't turn that down. And you say, well, we gonna allow you to coach. I can see that as a handshake for gratitude. But at the same time, though, bro, if you just going to go play, if I'm gonna be on your schedule next year, I kind of see why the school might be like, man, kick rocks and don't try to shake my hand because I might slap you in the face.
Okay. This is the problem I have. This is exactly why they got to do something, because listen, if you want what's best for the sport, all of these moves should happen after the season is over. Forget that. Like, period. Like, January, like, let's just say the college football season is over on New Year's Day. Let's just say that, right? Then all of these moves can happen, because, bro, I don't want to see the team that I watched all season long, and then we get to the bowl and you got 17 people sitting out, or now the head coach ain't there no more. Like, even that, and I don't got nothing to say about Oklahoma, but even that year when what's his name left and went to USC, right? And then Bob Stoops had to come and coach Lincoln Riley when he left. And it's just like, bro, nobody wants to see that. Or these players, it's like, because here's my favorite one, where the players be like, nah, I'm gonna sit out because I'm going to the draft. Like, bro, listen, if y'all was playing for a national championship, would you have sat out? Like, that's what I want to see the teams finish out the year. This whole thing where you in December and now all these moves has happened, that's stupid to me, bro. That would be like watching the NFL and then, but when the playoffs is getting ready to start, players is like, nah, bro, I got to sit out for next year.
It happens though, bro. That happens. That actually happens. And here's the thing about it. This is the thing. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm not that mad about it, right? The reason why I'm not that mad about it is this. Because when you're in college, and if I understand you're playing the game, but if you think that your goal is to play in the national to play for a national championship, and if for some reason if it don't works out, then at that point I understand that you're on a team, but then you also have to be thinking like, all right, I'm a top 20 prospect though, bro. I'm not gonna go and try to take my chance of playing in the Idaho Potato Bowl, bro, and hurting myself and hurting my draft stock. So I'm not that mad at a player for basically making that decision, especially if if that same coach that you're playing for can just decide to up and leave and then they're done before the season ends though. So I'm not mad at it
Yeah,
though.
but that scenario is different. I get what you're saying. It still lines with what I'm saying too. But I think it's also something that should be a stipulation in your NIL deal. Like, if I'm paying you to play, you got to be there for the games. And if you opt out early because you, like you said, your whole draft stock thing, then you owe some part of that money back, and it should be
I'm
contractual.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure there are some stipulations of that sort on that though,
But
because I get it. You know that would be like if you pay a player $1 million and they could choose what games they want to play in the middle of the season or not. When you pay them for their image and likeness, though, right? So I get that though, man. But I just think that if it looks bad when players sit out bowl games because they are protecting their draft stock. But it got to look worse a coach not finishing a job up. Like what Lane Kiffin is doing
yeah,
now has to look worse
that
easily than a player doing it though.
it does. I mean, I think all of it is. I again make it a thing that we want to know where people are going after the season is over, not in the season. That's my only thing. I don't have a problem with people leaving to go for better jobs and this, that, and the other. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, if the rule is the rule, no team is going to get a head start on talking to another coach or whatever like that. Because that's the thing. Like when we had this off camera conversation, you was like, most teams is trying to find their next head coach or whatever, whoop that they know their season is over. But if you made it the rule that no, open season don't start until this date, then that's just what it is. And so that's, to me, to make the game better. That's what I'm concerned about, is making the game better. Because this right here, while it's great entertainment and it's great conversation for analysts, it's not great for the game. Because I would have wanted to see what Lane Kiffin did with Ole Miss in the CFP.
Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. If Lane Kiffin left, he probably thought we ain't win no damn national championship.
I mean, I know that, but it still would have been nice for them to finish.
That's that. Listen, I get what you're saying, but if Lane Kiffin left, he would have fought to have to coach that last game. That boy probably was just like, we ain't win no damn national championship, bro. So nah, I don't know, bro. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at there being like a free agency period. I just think that on some level or another, those kind of conversations by agents would still be had, just the same way how it is in the NBA season, right?
Mhm.
Where as soon as that free agency period start on the first day, people already signed deals and they're boom, 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 back to back to back. And it's because those agents are already having those conversations. It's just not formal until that day. But I do get that even then, the period is the period. And so the commitment is full season long to the last game. I get that. But
Yeah,
it definitely should go both ways. But it should especially apply to the coach, though.
Yeah, I'm okay with the conversations because
Yeah.
we get that. That's gonna happen. I'm just saying, make it after, like, let that man coach in the thing. Like he done work hard this whole season and now he ain't coaching in thing. Like
Lincoln Riley.
that boy
Lincoln Riley.
left in the middle of the night, bro.
Listen, man. Lincoln Riley was like, it was one of the worst I think I've ever seen. And I think that Lincoln Riley it seemed like Lincoln Riley said, "Tell me your offer." And they said 7 billion. And he said, "I'll holler at y'all."
He
And they
said send
offered
the
him like
helicopter.
10.
That boy,
Yeah.
that boy pulled off in a helicopter, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, listen, man. Lincoln Riley said, "I'm getting the hell out of Dodge,
And
though, bro. Let me
then
show
he
you."
threw a rope down and took Caleb Williams with him.
Yes, bro. And was he like the only player that he's the only one that I knew that came with him?
I think so. I want to say, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
Hey man, what
Lincoln
else we got
Riley.
before we get out of here? We ain't got too long. We was on here kicking it.
Man,
Oh, did you watch the P Diddy doc?
no. I'm supposed to watch it today, though, man. I'm not looking forward to watching it, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
try
I'm
to
not
catch.
looking forward to it. I guess I look at it like this. I think that this is gonna be it's gonna be more behind the scenes of him leading up to the actual conviction. And that's cool. I don't I like I'd imagine that I've seen enough. The other part that I don't like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know that everybody talk about how petty 50 can be. And on some level, I respect that when he got beef, he could take it, it could be eternal, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think him executive producing this makes him look corny to me though, bro.
Why you say that?
Because to me, right, when it's like this though, man. I guess when I look at it, it's like, all right, when you got this beef with somebody, you think on some level you don't got respect for them. You think you're better for them, whatever your reason for the beef is, right? But I'm gonna be honest, man. Once Diddy scooped his girl and got her pregnant, had a baby by her, and 50 Cent has a song called "Have a Baby by Me, Baby, Be a Millionaire." Write the check before it come, baby. Who the hell cares? It's like, well, now Diddy did that to you and your girl, and it makes him look like he's just scorned by. It's not even beef. Like if it was, it's not like this is my thing. I kind of respect rap beefs. That's probably more physical. Like I see you, I'm gonna fight you. It's on site. We ain't got to kill you, but I'm gonna punch you in your face. But when you kind of do these kind of things,
Yeah,
it's
but here,
just it's. I'm not with it.
but 50 is consistent for one. It ain't like he still don't be doing stuff to Murder Inc. You know what I'm saying? Like he's consistent. And then on secondly, this is content. It just so happened to be about Diddy.
I agree, but I mean, him executive producing it, it's like if he want to comment on, like, it's like he's executive producing it because his previous beef with it. I get it. For him, it's like, listen, not only am I making money off of my beef, but he doesn't have an opportunity to rebuttal, right? So, like, I get why he would do it. I'm just saying that as an outsider, bro, looking in, knowing that Diddy got your girl pregnant, bro, it's just like, all right, you might be winning, but you ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it. Like in the who's the more of a man, who's the bigger player to play, whatever it is. Nah, you might be winning because you can laugh at his pain now, but he still got a baby by your girl. Nah, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's check it out and we'll get it. Let's get to it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you got?
No, man, listen, this week, birthday week, man. Listen, I'm excited. Probably trying to catch up with the homies though, man. Your boy hit that big 45 though, man. And I've been looking forward to it. It's gonna be probably low key. I'm not doing a whole lot though, man, but I am looking forward to kind of relaxing this for the rest of the month though, man. I realized though I got a bunch of time off that I didn't take. So I'm putting in that, and I looked up, man. At the end of the day, I thought that almost all of December I'm off though, man. So I'm looking to do a lot of relaxing though, man, and kind of make sure I'm heavy in the gym. So I'm gonna be chilling and relaxing these bones, probably soaking every night though, man. So I'm chilling though, man. But I'm excited for the birthday though, man. What about you? What you got?
Oh man, I am still recording this Christmas song, bro. I was recording some on it again today, and it's like I said, vocally challenging you, boy. But I'm gonna get it done.
Nice.
I'm gonna get it done.
I'm about to be wearing my my fours also, bro. Probably this weekend.
Hey, speaking of which, bro, you ain't doing no birthday pictures for the 45?
Nah, nah. I never been one to do birthday pictures. Like I think that's more of your thing. I know
It
that
is.
this is funny to me too because
It is.
I know that you do. It's your thing because I think you do birthday pictures every year, regardless of the year.
No, not
Or
every year.
you,
I
but I
space it
know
out.
you're taking pictures of people.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not doing a 45. I think if anything though, bro, I might just, when I'm with the peeps, I'm gonna take my pictures, man, and that's it. But I ain't doing no formal pictures though. Nah.
All right. All right.
Yeah. I ain't
Look,
never
man.
I didn't take none for 40. I ain't take none for 35, 30. I ain't gonna I ain't doing
Boy, the boy ain't
that. That's
celebrating
cool.
this.
Y'all will see me when you see me though, man.
Look, man, we the Slash Brothers. Thank you for joining us every Tuesday at 6 Central Standard Time or Central Time, whatever you want to call it. And we will see y'all on the next one. Yeah, we out.
Peace.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it,
of all time.
sucker?